Hey folks, how's it going? This is Seagull here, back with another video. This time, I'm going to be talking about some mods that can help you fix eco-lifestyle. It's no secret that this expansion pack, like many others, are very buggy, and while they have put out a couple of patches, they've only fixed the most critical issues where you couldn't load up your save game. But there are still some really odd glitches when it comes to certain things like the eco footprint and Sims having all of the current neighborhood action plans around the world forced on them at once, and just other weird stuff like that. I was hoping that by now we would have a third patch that would fix more issues, but unfortunately, it's not happened yet. So hopefully this video can help you out, and there will be links to all of the mods in the video description below so you can go download them for yourself. The first mod we're going to talk about is Safe Toilets by False Hope. You may have heard about, or even had this glitch yourself, where Sims pee in the toilet, but then it causes them to catch fire. It sounds kind of hilarious to me. I haven't actually experienced this myself, but I still download this mod anyways, just in case I still run into it. Next up are two different mods by Simvasion: Eco Lifestyle Interactions Fixes and Neighborhood Action Plan Autonomy Fixes. Starting off with the Eco Lifestyle Interactions Fixes, there are two fixes included in this one. The first being that future cubes, blobs of clay, and mystery novels won't be spawning in Sims inventories permanently. They will just go away after being used. And it is kind of funny. I noticed that it doesn't retroactively fix Sims inventories if they already had them before you installed the mod, because one of my vampires, Nolan, I noticed he has 4 clay blobs. 4 of them! And I downloaded this mod as soon as it came out, so yeah, that's a thing to still keep in mind. So if you happen to see any of your Sims autonomously using clay blobs without even that neighborhood action plan being in effect, then you might just need to go to that Sim, place them, and delete the clay blobs from their inventory so they stop doing that. The other part of this mod prevents open world items being swiped by Sims. Yeah, apparently Sims could steal stuff just out in the open street, not just stuff on your current lot. And it does make changes to the default behavior, where it restricts the items that are allowed to target for autonomous stealing to the active lot and its buildable grid. And on non-residential lots, some items have been removed from the list of swipeable goods, including stereos, living chairs, stools, sinks. I'm sure Carl Sims guys will be happy to hear about that. Counters and tables, which are considered as required items for multiple venue types, including bars, lounges, and more. And the maximum value of an item that can be stolen has been limited to 1,000 simoleons for non-residential lots. But the mod does not change residential lots, where the gameplay is unchanged and the full list of items can still be swiped and at unlimited value, because at home you can lock your doors, limit the amount of guests, tell people to leave, and repeal the neighborhood action plan. So let's talk about the other mod that Simvasion put out, which is Neighborhood Action Plan Autonomy Fixes. So like I mentioned earlier, there is a bug where when NPCs are roaming around your district that you're playing in, they have every single neighborhood action plan currently enacted all around the world, in every world, at the same time, and this mod fixes that issue. And apparently there's also certain cases where behaviors from the neighborhood action plans get stuck on Sims permanently, and not just for that week. So this mod fixes both of those things. And with that latter bug of naps getting stuck on Sims permanently, that was only added on June 17th. So if you immediately download this mod when it came out, go ahead and re-download it just to make sure that you do have the most up-to-date version of this. The next mod we're going to talk about is No Eco Footprint Decay by Scarlet, and it prevents the eco footprint from naturally increasing/decreasing to neutral. You can still impact it based on your actions, objects, etc. This will just prevent it from increasing/decreasing your industrial or green footprints when you don't want it to, but you will still have the arrow showing that it's decaying, even though the bar itself does not decay. Thank goodness for this mod, because this whole naturally going towards neutral so quickly all the time, yeah, it's probably my biggest issue with this pack so far. Alongside the eco footprint resetting when I travel to different lots, though this mod doesn't seem to take care of that, and I haven't found any mods that take care of that issue, but I am glad this will at least help with the issue of when I stay in the same neighborhood and it decreases to neutral so fast. If I want a district to stay green, then it can, unless I really do actively push it in an industrial direction by having the atmospheric condensers and the power generators. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Zero, as Zero has uploaded 3 different mods that fix 5 different issues. So the first one is only Recycled Disciple can be picked for the Scrounger role in community lots, and Zero says that's the best I can do to stop Victor Fang from rummaging in the trash. I'll probably add more as I find this kind of stuff going on. Also restricted to Sims residing in Zone, so you can make your own weirdo. The second change is that so voters are only residents, so for example, Lily Fang from San Myshuno won't suddenly show up to vote in Evergreen Harbor when you're playing there. And initially I did take issue with this, but then once I thought more about it, I realized why Maxis probably went in the direction that NPCs could still vote in your current neighborhood, even if they don't actually live in the same district as you. And that's because, well, you could still end up with a neighborhood where there's only one family currently living in it. So if you're playing as that family, there's no challenge. You're just voting against yourself, and that's it. So it'd be way too easy to get any neighborhood action plans that you want enacted. There's no pushback from other Sims. I guess it would be nice if maybe it happened less often, but I can see why it is possible by default for Sims from other worlds to vote. But I doubt all of you would agree with that opinion. I'm sure some of you would just like it so that voters are only residents no matter what the case is where you're playing. So at least there is that option. The third thing is some tweaks to the Recycled Disciple trait, including the removal of the idle animation and the static commodity that makes them swipe autonomously. Because there is a mechanic where if you don't get any trash with the Recycled Disciple sim once in a while, they will get tense and eventually they will swipe something and turn it into bits and pieces, even if it is something that is on the sim's own lot. Then the fourth thing is restricted the eco personality filter to residents only. So if Vlad wants to be your eco mentor, he has to be in Forgotten Hollow. I assume that was the case already, but apparently not. And then number 5 is Sims with the new eco lifestyle traits. Freegan, Green Fiend, and Recycled Disciple should now never get uncomfortable from showering and washing dishes off the grid. That seems like another weird issue too, because I can imagine that making sense, say if your household is barely getting by and constantly running out of water or electricity, but is still showering and washing dishes anyways. But if they have plenty of power, then I don't think it should be an issue. Zero also links to another mod by Your False Hope where it gets rid of the board idling animation if the room that your sim is currently standing in has a low environment score. I personally haven't had an issue with this, but I'll still leave a link to it anyway. Okay, whoops, I almost forgot one last creator, and that is Little Miss Sam. And this is part of her random small mods compilation, which has a whole bunch of different smaller tweaks and fixes, and she has made 3 for Eco Lifestyle. The first one is Nurture gives more health, lower the time to nurture and increase the effect on health. This is for the bug house, in case you didn't know, where you can raise the different bugs, so now you don't need to look at that same petting animation over and over again for as long. The second thing is Meat Wall for Everyone, where it unlocks the convert to meat wall interaction for all Sims on the vertical planter. I definitely prefer this, even though it is kind of cool, I think, to unlock some objects through careers, because you normally have to be, I can't remember which level it is of the civil designer career they need to be at, but yeah, you do need to be in that career to unlock the meat wall option, and I think that's a little silly, so I'm glad that little Miss Sam changed that. Then the last one is no auto die for meals in dumpster. When I use the auto fulfill hunger, they always want to jump into the dumpster. I needed to stop that. I think that would be appropriate for Sims with certain traits, but if that's happening to all Sims, then I would definitely think it makes sense to stop that. And that's it for this video. So in the best case scenario, this video will age like milk and most of these issues will be fixed soon. But if not, at least those of us on PC and Mac can download all of these mods to fix these issues and annoyances in the meantime. And let me know in the comments section below if I missed any important ones. And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Paralive, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!